Howdy, everybody, and welcome to today's show. My name is Frank Salas. I go by the name The Talented Mr. Salas. I do have an online community for people who would like to learn to use social media online. You can find that over at bit.ly/talented1. Or you can go to Facebook and look for my private Facebook group, The Talent Tribe. And this interview, we're going to be interviewing with Matt Plapp, and he is a social media consultant. He also has his own social media agency. And we're going to talk about the latest tips and trends coming out.
You're breaking up.
I'm going to move it. I'm going to maybe go ahead and make a move real quick. Maybe this will work a little bit better. How's my sound now? How's my...
Yeah, signal's better. You had broken up and got kind of skippy on there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, hopefully it works out for the recording. If not, Matt, introduce everybody to yourself and let everybody know what you got going on.
My name is Matt Plapp. I am a marketing consultant specializing in Facebook and Instagram advertising for restaurants, and we're working on golf courses in the future in Cincinnati, Ohio. Work nationwide with 2, 3, 4 restaurant location chains, as well as big national ones.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And you just got back from a expo with a bunch of marketers out there, and you had some thoughts. What happened?
It was kind of humorous. I was in Chicago at the National Restaurant Association show. So if you can picture 3 gigantic convention centers put into 3 rooms, and there's 4,000 booths total. So it took us literally 8 to 10 hours each day to walk through every booth in the 2 halls, or the 3 halls, I guess. And it was kind of humorous because, I'm going there. I've been there. I was there 2 years ago. And I went there 2 years ago looking for ideas for how to improve the Facebook ads I was doing for my clients. We were having a lot of success with Facebook advertising, but I was missing a component of it to make it repeatable and duplicatable. And I went 2 years ago hoping to find it. I didn't find it. I found a bunch of the same old, same old. So I went back this year. And this year, though, I went back and I already had the whole program. The program that sends out the text message, the program that has the digital coupons, the program that redeems digital coupons. And so it's working pretty well. And so I'm thinking, okay, I want to go to the show and network with some professionals that are in non-competitive industries, but then also see what my competition's doing. And it was kind of funny. The number of booths I visited, probably 20 to 25, that were promoting stuff from 5 to 10 years ago. I mean, there was a couple of direct mail companies there that were doing the same old stuff. Hey, when somebody moves into a neighborhood, we're going to send them this big thing in mail, like in the U.S. Postal Service, instead of how about a Facebook ad targeting people in that area. And then, the number of companies that were doing, when I got into Facebook advertising 7, 8 years ago, we started helping businesses. It was making posts for people and getting engagement and getting shares. Well, that's died. That's gone because nobody sees the posts. And the number of companies there that were talking about that was their big thing. What do you do for restaurants? We've got a program where for $1,000 a month, we're going to post twice a week for you, and we're going to answer questions and answer reviews for you. I'm like, okay, well, what else? What do you mean, what else? Well, what are you doing to drive people in the restaurant? Well, we're making posts. So at the end of the month, when you work for me and I hire you for my restaurant, what are you giving me at the end of the month to show me that I sold food or beer? And they would just look at me with a blank stare. All right, so I did a little video making fun of them and said, hey, everybody in this room, the 90s called, they want their marketing techniques back.
That's savage, man. I love it, but it's so true. And these people are charging $1,000 for, some services that all these kids are watching Tai Lopez course. No disrespect to Tai Lopez. Tai Lopez is doing a great service to the community, making people aware of this opportunity and this business model. But a lot of people will go through his course, maybe watch a YouTube video, maybe one of our YouTube videos, and they're like, all right, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go to the marketplace and do this, this, and this. And number one, they're not valuing themselves as much. Like, I see lots of people offering that particular service for $250 to $500 per month. And you've got legitimate companies that are legitimate businesses that are getting $1,000 just for this kind of basic stuff. So talk about more of the pricing that they were kind of offering and what that got.
It was kind of funny. There was places all over the board. And there was actually a company that was recently acquired. I can't think of the name of it. They were recently acquired by Yelp. Are you going to make me jealous with your view again? And they were recently acquired by Yelp. And the service they were offering, they had some review products, and they had some different of the new thing with the Wi-Fi where you log in for the free Wi-Fi, and which actually there's some cool things that can come down the road with that. But these companies weren't promoting it. But the part that really got me with this the particular companies was when I asked them, okay, so you're doing things on Facebook, you're charging. I saw $250 a month, I saw $1,000 a month, I saw a couple thousand a month, and none of them were doing anything other than Facebook posts. And I said, what about Facebook advertising? And not one of them ever mentioned Instagram, which is kind of funny because it ties in with Facebook and it gets pretty good results from my clients. And they were telling me that, oh, we do Facebook advertising for you as well. I said, well, can you explain that? If I'm a restaurant, these people don't know who I am. And actually, I'm there representing 9 restaurants as well as my agency. So I'm curious to know what they might have that can help my clients. And maybe there's stuff I could be doing better. And what really caught me off guard was a number of them that couldn't explain what they did. And that's what I tell a lot of restaurants, the difference when they're working with a guy like myself or even you. There is no big corporation. There's not, these booths were all staffed by people that I call kids. They were 23 to 30 years old. And none of them actually do the work. And none of them know about the work. And none of them know how it works. And none of them know if it works. So you're talking to him and you're trying to find out answers. The one guy, and I just stayed in his booth just to humor him, took him, no lie, 20 minutes to when I said, hey, can you show me? Because he said, yeah, we also do text messaging. I said, great. What do you text on behalf of my restaurant? Well, we're going to text out a coupon to them that they can use in the restaurant. Great. How is it redeemed? Is there a digital redemption part? Because I don't want something they just show the server. I want something that gets redeemed. We know it got redeemed. We know how much they spent. And again, I'm kind of talking about what we do and trying to see what they're doing. And he's like, well, let me show you what we get. And 20 minutes later, I'm not lying, I just stayed there because I was watching the clock to see how long this presentation took. He never could figure out how to send himself a test of what their product did. And literally all I had to do when I was in the aisle, a couple of vendors said, well, Matt, show me your program I've heard about. And I would literally pull up Facebook and go, okay, let me go to my phone here. Let me go to this restaurant. Let's see here. Where's this particular one we showed them? And I would pull it up and I would show them the post on the Facebook page. I mean, literally would show them the post, pull up the phone, show them the post. Once they saw the post, I would click it and show how to opt in. And then I would show them the text message that came across, which is pretty simple here, wherever it is. I'd show them the text message and walk through, okay, now you opt in. And once you opt in, you get the coupon. And once you get the coupon, you click the link. And the link takes you to the coupon digitally. A couple seconds here, slow internet. It takes you to the digital coupon. And the person clicks redeem, and they enter their information in there, what they spent, what table number. I mean, this literally, I showed 100 people in the aisles this when they would talk to me that I thought would be a good prospect for us or a good vendor that could be a counterpart of ours. And it took me all of a minute to walk them through the Facebook ad, the text, the email, the coupon, how you redeem it, and then how we report an ROI at the end of the month. And it amazed me because I'm like, you're at the largest restaurant association show in the world with your opportunity. And in 20 minutes, you can't show me what took me a minute.
And you probably dropped like 10 to 20 grand on a booth, or your company did at least. And to be fair, that probably maybe wasn't the owner. Was it the owner or was it like a representative?
That's the big difference. I think that we have anybody that's watching this, that I know follows you, Frank, and yourself, where we have the opportunity to dominate is that these companies, the owners aren't involved. A lot of them are corporations. Like Yelp had their division there, and this product they had their Street Hub or Street something. And they had a couple cool items, but the stuff they were really pushing, if I'm a restaurant owner that has no clue about social media and has more money than sense, I'm going to buy from them. But what happens is, I heard this in the boat business a long time ago. Actually, there's a better example, the vacuum business. I've got a client that sells vacuums. And he always tells me, he's like, you can get a $1,000, you can get a $500 Dyson vacuum. You can buy it for $500. You're actually buying a $200 vacuum because Dyson spends $300 marketing. So you can buy a $200 vacuum for $500. You want a Dyson. Or if you buy his Ricard brand he sells, you're spending $500 and getting a $500 vacuum because they don't market. They rely on their dealers. It's no different with these companies that are doing social media advertising. You're buying a $1,000 service. You're paying $1,000 for a service that should cost you $200 because they've got that booth there and they've got the salesperson and they've got a content manager And they've got a girl that creates the content calendar. The content calendar was a big thing they all kept talking about. We're going to give you a content calendar. I'm like, well, you're going to give me an Excel spreadsheet with 5 days a week on it, and you're going to put the topic of the post. That's amazing value. I love it. Give me more.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of ways that we can come up to business owners and just provide more value, over deliver. And everybody who is in my audience who's interested in social media marketing, a lot of them, number one, are charging way, way, way too little. They might have heard one podcast, one interview. They heard one course. They took one webinar. And for whatever reason, the magic number is, oh, we're all going to charge $1,500 a month as a management fee. And then we're going to take a percentage of that. And I'm like, how the hell are you going to make a business from that? Like, how are you going to get paid? Like, what are you doing? And it's just like knowing your prices. And then I want to go back to what you talked about. It took 20 minutes for that guy to show you and demonstrate his value. And it takes you one. You just did it live on the show. Like, hey, boom, 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 boom. Here you go. That's a demonstration of value. And for a lot of you guys who are listening to this, a lot of the new stuff that's coming out, like a Facebook chatbot. Like if you have a chatbot program and you talk to a business owner, like if I tell a business owner what a chatbot is, they're like, what? But if I say, all right, go to my Facebook page, Talented Mr. Salas, send me a message, and they go through that system, they're like, oh my God, I need this. And it all starts clicking. So I feel a lot of people in our industry do a lot of, conversing, but they do a very little showing. So the more you can show your customer, the more that they're going to value you. They're going to treat you as a consultant, and they're going to pay you your rates that you deserve to be paid. So I wanted to bring that up. Another thing I wanted to bring up was you went to the National Restaurant Association Expo. There's no market. I mean, there's some marketers there, but like you're going to a prospect-rich environment. You're social. You're showing. You're networking. You're demonstrating value. You're even networking with the people that are already there. Maybe trying to align with them, and you're out there making things happen. Everyone's always asking, "How can I get a lead generation? What do I do for lead generation?" You get up off your ass and you act like Matt, and you go where the fish go. You're a fisherman. Go where the fish go. So talk to us a little bit more about what that's actually like, because you and I are from the old school. We actually talk to people. We pick up the phone. We shake hands and kiss babies. That's what we do. And all these kids in the millennial, era, they're like, what's the script? What's the cold call? How can I automate that? How can I outsource that? Which I love. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love that. But when you're meeting somebody, talk us about that. How does that differ versus the other stuff, which does work, but talk to us about this side.
So we went to this show. We were armed with a couple of things. Number one, I went myself and my director of sales, Greg Thompson. We went, and our goal was to, one, see what was there, to kind of see what the competition was, because I haven't found anything that competes with the product we've developed. And that's naive of me to think it's not out there. I'm sure it is. But I couldn't find it. We looked at every booth, it wasn't there. So what we looked at next was businesses that were there that were marketing focused that didn't have what we had. Like, for example, I found a direct mail company who was doing some pretty cool stuff with regards to direct mail. And I said, have you ever thought about a digital element? He said, we don't know that stuff. We're constantly looking for partners that maybe we can team up with that would help us, that we could offer a digital product, or that we could refer in and get a fee on whatever they buy. And I said, you know what? I'm looking for direct mail companies. I have clients that do everything. So we made probably 15 connections there with people that are in the marketing business. The one company showed me his portfolio. He's already got about 500 restaurants nationwide doing direct mail with him. So if I can hook up with him and get him a handful of clients I know that could use direct mail, because my restaurants I work with, they don't just do what I do. They do a plethora of things. Any company should be doing multiple marketing tasks. It's a matter of what works best and what they should be spending more money on, but you've got to have multiple things supporting it. And so this one guy in particular, he was all excited. He loved it. So what we had with us also, on top of my phone and us talking, I had a flash drive that on it said ROI for your marketing. And the flash drive contained our PowerPoint on our entire program. I did a video of the PowerPoint and talked through our sales presentation. I then had a table of contents on there. Here's what's on this flash drive. I had our ROI worksheet. Here's a sample worksheet of when you're a client of ours. When the first week of the month comes around, we send you a spreadsheet that shows you how many customers we gained information of, how many of those customers were new. We value a new contact at $10, which is really low, but we do that on the short-term gain because a lot of restaurant owners aren't looking for 10 years down the road, looking for now. We look how many redemptions we had on the offers digitally, how much those redemptions were in sales. So the example, the ROI sheet on there is from a client in March, which had 1,220 new contacts, 198 redemptions for 10,000, like $83, I think. And so the ROI at the end of the day was about $24,000, somewhere in the neighborhood, and they spent $3,700. So we had that on there. And then I had 4 videos of tutorials, how to create a Facebook birthday advertisement, how to do custom audiences, an email marketing one, and then video campaigns on Facebook. Because my goal was, hey, even if you don't hire us, here's a flash drive that's got 4 videos on here that aren't selling you anything, that'll teach you a skill that you need for your restaurant or your business. My thought was, we're going to hand these out, which we did. We handed out about 40 of them, and we were really, really, really selective. I didn't give them to anybody unless we had about a 20-minute conversation, and I could see that they were either in the market for what we did, or they were somebody that could really help us grow our business, and that we could help grow their business. Because it's a two-way street, giver's gain. You can't go around a show like this with your hand out. I was going around trying to drop knowledge in people and drop these flash drives, but also say, hey, I'll help grow your business. Let's talk about it. You know, I've got 10 interviews like this lined up for the next 3 months with vendors from the show. A couple of them aren't even marketing. They've got a really cool product for payroll, the one company that I thought was really unique. I'm like, unique. I'm like, you know what? I want to interview you. I want to do something like Frank has done with me and put that out there, because that's something that a restaurant owner could come across and go, man, this is really cool. Who's this Matt Platt guy? So that was pretty neat. But yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Is that we went to this show, and I went to this with the mindset. I knew we would meet a few restaurants, even though there were about 10,000 there. It's kind of hard walking down an aisle and grabbing somebody and going, hey, I know you. Come here. We went after the case of, we knew about 5 people that were already there. 2 of the guys that me and Greg knew are nationwide big hitters in the food distribution business. And we went to dinner with them. They actually took us to dinner Sunday night to a nice steakhouse, and with 6 other guys, of which one guy owned 28 restaurants, another guy owned 2 restaurants. And then the 3 other people at dinner with us represented about 100 restaurants that they sold product to in different states across the country. And we're at dinner talking and just mingling, and the whole conversation came up about our new product and what we do and what they do. And the one guy wants to start taking us out and meeting every restaurant he's got in 5 cities. And he said, we're going to line up market trips. And just saying, like you mentioned, it's pretty unique in that everybody wants to advertise. I see a lot of people. I'm in a couple programs, mastermind groups. Everybody's doing Facebook ads. And how do I do cold emails to get people to call me back and do cold calls? I would much rather spend my time. We're doing Facebook ads, don't get me wrong, that's what I do for a living. But I would rather spend my time making great connections with 15 to 20 people that have 500 restaurants as clients, and showing value to them and helping them. Because they're looking, the one guy told me, he goes, Matt, if I take you to my client and in 6 months he can turn around and say, dude, we've done $100,000 in X sales we wouldn't have gotten because of Matt Platt. You introduced me. He's just going to get more sales. He's got more credibility. He's a better resource for his clients.
I dig that, man. And thank you so much for breaking that down, because I feel the art of networking is lost on a lot of the young people who are just so well positioned to really understand, utilize, and leverage this technology. You and I are very fundamental marketers, and we had to learn social media. And these kids that are coming up, like, they grew up with this. It's in their DNA, and it's going to be like soon implanted into their eyeballs and their arms and like all this stuff. And that's where it's headed, and that's normal for them. But if they just learn a little bit more of these quote unquote antiquated skills or people skills or social skills, they would do so much more. And a lot of the complaints or concerns or challenges they have, like, how do I lead gen? How do I get my first client, would be solved. I feel, I want to address the if somebody has no clients right now, if they took a course, if they're watching our video, if they watch your training, my trainings, whoever's trainings, and they got the knowledge in here, but they don't have the experience, where would you suggest someone to get their very, very first client?
BNI, Business Network International. And it was funny. The other day I saw a guy that commented on Facebook. He got out of a BNI chapter and he's focused on something else. And it kind of crushed me, because for 9 years I've been in a BNI chapter. They're all over the world. And it's not a place you're going to grow your business fast nationally, but it does a couple things. I've been in a chapter for 9 years, and I bet probably 125 to 150,000 of my income per year is from referrals from BNI and from second tier referrals. But the biggest thing it does is, number one, it's consistent. Every week I get up in front of a group of 40 people, and I have to clearly and concisely in 60 seconds say who I am, what I do, who I'm looking for and why I'm looking for them. And when you can practice that, and when you go to a trade show and somebody says, hey, Frank, what do you do for a living? The number of people I met at this trade show that I asked that question, it took them 10 minutes to tell me. Somebody walks up to me, Matt, what do you do? I use Facebook and Instagram advertising to drive people to restaurants, and I can prove it. And I want to show you this. And in a minute, I can break down what I do. So it taught me, so if I'm a new person, I'm getting in a BNI checker. It's $500-600 a year. You're going to make some great referrals, some great connections, referral sources. You might even sell a person in the room. You never know. But it's all about making connections. But also it helps you practice your skill so that when you do go to a trade show like this, because we've got about 20 lined up we're going to. Every state in the United States and even Canada has a restaurant association show at one point in the year. So I'm going to just work these restaurant association shows and go to them, meet the right people. I'll give you a funny example. This is hilarious. So I'm in the alcohol section of the show. They have it was called the bar section. They had all the different beer and liquor companies. And I see this beer product that was really cool. And I thought, man, I'm going to go check this out because it looked like something that would help with one of my breweries. So I walk over and I'm watching them demonstrate. And I happen to see these two guys that are watching the demonstration. Their badges say Columbus, Ohio. And one of them said White Castle. White Castle is a company in the United States, a fast food place. And their headquarters is a block from my client in Columbus. Every time I get off the exit, I see their giant white building. And so I was able to put two and two together and know who these guys were. And I said, hey, what's up, fellas? You guys are from White Castle in Columbus. I see your building every month. What do you mean? I said, well, Hoffer House Columbus is a client of mine. The guy goes, oh, no way. We're Steinmasters there. We go there every week and drink beer. Oh, you're kidding me. So we get talking, and I said, well, you guys ought to join our VIP program now. It was my way of opening up, not selling them, but saying, hey, well, what do you mean? I said, well, we've got a program we just launched where you opt in, and you get a free appetizer up front, and then you get 4 other offers down the road through text message. The guy goes, you mean this? He had it on his phone. He had just opted in the week before. And so I'm cracking up because I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This guy, what are the odds of me being in a place with like 20, 30,000 people? I see these guys from White Castle. I know who they are. They're both Stein members, which means they're on the beer loyalty program. They have a Stein at the restaurant. They come and get it every time they drink. But the one guy actually showed me my program, showed me the digital coupon, was telling me he's going to use it when he gets back this week. And I'm like, wow, if this guy doesn't love that program, he's also in the restaurant business, I'm guessing he could take that to the right people if he's not the right person. And so we talked for about 20 minutes. I gave him a flash drive. We talked about the product. They actually had some questions about the restaurant. I told them, hey, give me a call when you get back in town. I'll hook you up with some cool stuff.
Man, there's so many nuggets in there. I want to go back and just highlight a few. And the first one is that it's very adamant. It's very apparent as well that you're niche down. Like you are double down on the restaurants. I mean, that's kind of your area of expertise. What's the benefit of being niche down in any industry?
What I have found, and I learned this more than anything from Billy Jean. I went through Billy Jean's marketing out in California, his camp program. I'm still in it. When I met him, I had 35 clients from about 28 industries. And what I didn't realize was happening, that I was trying to find a way to get bigger and do bigger things, but also to do what I'm doing better. And 10 of my clients, nine clients, 10 restaurants, I was doing really cool stuff for, and I enjoyed it. And I could carry it over. I could go to a meeting with this restaurant, leave there, go to the next restaurant. They're non-competitive, and I could carry over the skills and what we were doing. On the other hand, there were weeks where I was at my auto repair client's shop. We had some conversations. We came up with a new technique, a new marketing campaign. I left there. An hour later, I'm in a vacuum store, marketing with him, talking about his idea. An hour later, I'm at a GNC nutrition store. An hour later, I'm at a restaurant. So now I just had 4 meetings, and I came up with 4 different marketing ideas. None of them overlap. So I'm doing a crap load of work for each one, and it's not repeatable. So when I went out to California and met with Billy Jean and was looking through some of his Facebook advertising, and one thing he taught me and kind of showed me was how I could do what I'm doing better. Because, like, for example, I've got 4 high-end breweries in 4 cities, and the programs we're doing with them are killing it. And the results are great. And when I was showing him and some colleagues this, he's like, why aren't you focusing on breweries? Why aren't you calling every brewery in every city or sending them an email or dropping by their place and showing them this campaign and saying, hey, this is only gaining 1,000 new customers a month and 250 customers are walking in the doors and redeeming this coupon. They're seeing a 6 to 8 to 1 return on investment. If you don't want it, no big deal. I'll just take it back. And so that got me thinking, like, you know what? You're right. And I had never thought of myself as a United States company. I thought of myself as a Cincinnati, Midwest company. And so when I started doing that, I mean, we're batting 100%. We've not had a restaurant tell us no, which is, knock on wood, I know is going to end. But we're delivering them a product that I've never seen. I've had, in 18 years I've been in marketing, the last 9 years I've been my own agency consulting with a lot of companies. And I have searched for companies. I say, hey, if I give you $2,000, tell me what happens. And they go, oh, we run your commercial on the radio and 10,000 people here, and they're going to flock to your restaurant. Well, can you prove it? Well, no. And I actually had a guy, this was the funniest thing I heard. I had never heard this. So I'm talking to a guy who does digital marketing, and he saw my name badge. This was worse. Our name badges said, Matt Plapp, Customer Acquisition Specialist, clicks to customers, was the name on the name badge, because I wanted people to ask me questions when they saw it. If I had Driven Media Solutions, what the hell's that?
Right.
And the number of people that they're doing their sales pitch to me and never could look at my badge and realize I wasn't a restaurant. And when they would ask me, hey, what do you do? And they look at my name badge, clicks to customers, what kind of restaurant are you? And I'm like, can you read? And I'd go, I've got 9 different restaurants. Go on with your sales presentation. Say what? The one guy actually looked at it and said, clicks to customers. I love the name. Where are you driving customers from for restaurants? And he knew it. And I said, here's what we do. And I said, what do you do? And he had a digital product, and he walked me through it. And I got to the end, and I said, so when people opt into this program and you do some promotions with them, what do you deliver to the client at the end of the month that shows them how many customers and how much in sales? Oh, we don't do that, man. He said, that's what we call hard data. We only supply soft data. Nobody supplies hard data. And I said, well, let me show you what we do, because he was asking. And I walked him through the program. Facebook ad, click here, opt in, get the text, get the email. Here's the coupon that was redeemed and was emailed me when it was redeemed. Here's how much they spent. And here's the other ones they've redeemed the last month as well. He goes, oh, man, that's called hard data. We do soft data. You've got hard data. That's pretty cool. I had never heard hard and soft data. To me, it's results or no results. But it was wild. But yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Niche is where I've found that I can do it, because I'm really good at a handful of things. I suck at some stuff. I'm not a good accountant. I'm always behind on balancing my books, and my accountant's yelling at me. I'm not great at doing creative advertising. I don't come up with awesome concepts for TV commercials or radio commercials. But I know how to create Facebook and Instagram ads. I know how to get people to give me their information, and I know how to put offers in front of them to get them in the seats of a restaurant. So that's where I've really focused on, is how can I do that instead of at 10 or 20 restaurants? How can I do it at 500 restaurants?
I love that. I love that. And so I want to expand further on what Matt's talking about. Matt's talking about creating digital assets. Anytime you make an audience, that's a digital asset. You own that audience in whatever medium. If you're on Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, that is your audience. The restaurant never has hold of that. You can take that audience and you can go in that marketplace or in other marketplaces similar to that and use that same audience. You can use the same creative, the same copy, the same emojis, the same retargeting tactics. And if you are building chatbots or doing text message offers or doing any kind of other third-party stuff, if you do it in the same niche, all you do is just take it to another business owner. And so I have, in real estate, I've got my own funnels that are producing leads. And if I'm in another market, I go to another realtor or another brokerage and say, hey, I've got this real estate funnel. It's dropping, 10 leads a month. My price is $5,000 a month. What's next? They're like, holy shit. Like, yeah, well, what is next? Like, yeah, I'm interested. And if someone tells me, oh, that's too much, I say, you know what? I'm going to sell this to somebody today. I'm going to go down this list and I'm going to sell this. This is already existing. It already exists. I already have the digital assets. I'm looking for fuel. The car's here. We need fuel. You got the fuel? Okay, no. Thank you for your time. Adios. And we move on to the next person. And business owners, especially in B2B sales, they like that. So talk to us about the style of B2B sales. What is that like? Because a lot of people who are watching this, maybe they have like retail jobs and they're like order takers. And they're like, thank you for coming to Wendy's. You want a double cheeseburger? Okay, anything else? Or whatever that is. Talk to us about like selling business owners.
What you've got to understand, and this is something you can't learn, it comes with experience. I think I've done a pretty good job of it because I'm unique. When I got out of college, I sold radio advertising for 4 years, After that, or actually during that time, my dad and my brother and myself opened a boat and RV dealership. We had 3 stores for 9 years. And during that time, I got into consulting as well. So I've been on all 3 sides of it. I understand what it's like to sell it and what it can do. I understand also what it's like to buy it and know how much it sucks to spend $5,000 and not see anything. And then I know what it's like to sell it, to buy it for a company and expect my clients to say, hey, Matt, you just spent $100,000 last year for us. What did it do? And so I understand the different aspects of it. And so what I would encourage people is you've got to really understand what the business owners are looking for. And that's where a lot of people, when I was going through this show, I saw a lot of people that were selling a product that don't know. And it's not their fault because they're 24, 25 years old. They've not had the experience. I didn't have it. I'll never forget one of my first ever sales pitches, a place called American Roofing in Erlanger, Kentucky. In 1999, I worked for WGR. It was like April of 99. A guy named Matt Spencer. And I remember this because it was so bad. But I also remember because Matt put a new roof on my house about 5 years ago with a different company. But I remember sitting down with him, and I had pitched him a $20,000 schedule on our radio station. And I said, how much does a roof cost, Matt? And he goes, like $5,000. I said, dude, you need 4 roofs to pay for this campaign. He's like, I know, let's do it. I look back now and I go, well, no, you actually didn't, because while the roof might cost $5,000, in reality, you might make $500 to $1,000 profit. And so if you just made $1,000 profit, that means you actually need $20,000 just to get your money back. So there's 20 roofs. And if you want to make some money, because nobody wants to spend $20,000 to get $20,000, that's useless. You're going to go buy a savings account for that. You want to spend $20,000 to get 40. So that means this guy needed 40 roofs. So you can see my math when I first started off was 4 roofs I thought he needed. He actually needed 40. And so that's where you've got to understand what a business is looking for. It's like in my business, I know the restaurants because I've worked closely. I sit in meetings every month with a handful of my clients. I'm involved in everything. I know the lawsuits against them. I know the employee issues. I know the manager that had intercourse in the office and was on videotape and got fired. So I hear all the things they deal with. And what's funny is one of the cool things about being in there is when you're in a meeting and you realize this guy you're sitting across from who owns these restaurants, he's got a manager he's got to fire for having sex with an employee in an office. He's got a lawsuit because the customer hit another customer with a beer mug. The list goes down the line. Guess what's not on there? He doesn't give a shit about marketing. It's the last thing on his mind. So if you can come to them with something that's a cool solution, hey, I know you don't have time to do Facebook ads because you got to deal with that dude in that office, and you got to deal with that guy that just hit another customer, and you got to deal with your 10 negative reviews you got on Yelp last week because your manager didn't do a good job of touching the tables. They got a lot of problems on their plate. So the minute you understand that, and you can go to them with a no BS approach, hey, here's my product. Here's exactly what it does. Here's how much it costs. Here's what you're going to see in return. But you got to understand their business, because if you don't, like in my case, I know the restaurants that if they spend $5,000 and they get $10,000 in sales from that, they just lost money. If they get $15,000 in sales, because most restaurants, a 3-to-1 ROI is break even. They broke even. Well, nobody wants to break even. So if they spend $5,000, I know I've got to show them how we're going to get 30. And that's where you've got to understand how to do it. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think that I'm going to sell this product, and I see it a lot. I'm in Billy Jean's program. Billy Jean has done an amazing job of getting a lot of young marketers into his program. And there's a lot of them in there that are learning Facebook ads, but they've never sold to a business owner. And they have no idea how to talk to them, how to approach them, how to speak their language. I mean, there's businesses I don't mess with. You asked about niches. I've got opportunities. I could easily tomorrow get referrals to chiropractors and weight loss clinics across the country from a couple of really good connections I have. I don't speak their language. I don't know what they do. I don't know the margins. And so, yeah, I might be able to sell them something and get a funnel and get them some clients, but it's going to be slow and it's going to be a short-term play. Whereas the restaurants, I can talk to any restaurant owner anywhere in this country, and I promise you I can speak his language to a point where he'll go, holy shit, you've been in this, haven't you?
Man, and absolutely, that's a great point. And I always talk to people in my mastermind. I always talk to them about talk to the money. Talk to the money. I like repeat it over. Talk to the money, talk to the money, talk to the money. Because if you just talk to the business owner's money, it's going to make a lot more sense to them. They have a lot of stuff that they're dealing with, like you had said. and just talking to their money is going to get them to pay you money. When you talk to their money, they're going to pay you money. So, hey, we're about to, out of time here, Matt. You know, what's the final thing for somebody who's maybe watching this? Maybe they have an agency. Maybe they, you know, this is a real life example. I have somebody that I'm having a conversation with right now who's like, Frank, I've got, you know, 20 clients, but they're all paying me between like $250 to $500. And so they're making the money that they want to make, but they're making it with like all these other people, and they're dealing with people with $250 to $500 problems when they could just have like 6 clients that are paying maybe double that, and you're good. You won't have to worry about that. Talk to me. How would you advise that person?
Okay, so I'll say 2 things. Number one, I have clients still paying me from 9 years ago, $250 a month. So when I started my business and this consulting part 9-10 years ago, I didn't know what the hell I was doing with regards to pricing. I didn't know how to kind of take it. And so I took on some clients that we managed their social media and their email marketing for $250 a month. And within about 3 months, I'm like, I did the math on how many I needed. And then I went to 500. Then I went to 750, then 1,000. Well, long story short, it's hard to take that past client up. I can never, a couple of these clients are good friends of mine that we do some small work for them, nothing revolutionary. And I'm in the process of changing them to my new program where they'll be able to see, okay, here's why I'm going to go from $500 to $2,000 a month because of this, and this. But until I get to that point, I'm not messing with it. We'll just continue to do what we do. But you've got to look long-term, and you've also got not be scared of asking for what you think you're worth. That was my problem. Was I openly tell people, I've had people call me up and say, hey, we're going to talk to you about hiring you. And it's kind of funny because I'm like, well, I have my own business. Well, what would it cost to hire you as a marketing director? I'm like, about $500,000. What do you mean $500,000? I'm like, that's what it would take. I wouldn't want to work for you. I'm unemployable. I'd probably break every rule in your entire human resources manual. But understand what you're worth, and understand also what that business is going to get at it. Because if you charge, like I've got a client right now that pays us $1,000 a month that sees about 50 to 75 grand a month from what we do. And they're a client, really good, connected with a lot of other clients. So it's kind of a hard conversation to change them at this point. They should be paying us $5 grand a month. No shit. But I got myself in there. I'm going to withhold my end of it, and I'm going to be a good business person. But I look back now and I'm like, man, that dude should be paying me a lot of money. And on the other end, we just lost a client this past 2 weeks we've had for 7 years. Good client, a friend of mine, a huge business that was paying us way less than we should have because we had started when they were smaller, and we had taken on like 30 different locations of their business. And I was looking at their account about 6 months ago. I'm like, I've got to have a conversation with this dude. And I've either got to tell him, we need to find a way you to do this on your own in-house, or you got to pay us about 5 times more because the workload we're doing was stupid. And it finally got to a point where this past month, somebody they had brought on in-house 3 months ago, and I saw it coming. She was getting trained up and she was doing a good job. And he called me. He's like, hey, she's good to go on her own now. Do you think, should we end our relationship? And I'm like, yes. Thank you. Because now I just got rid of literally what was taking up about 7 clients' time, and I'll be able to charge 5 times for that and make 1 client. So charge the right amount. The second part, I would encourage, and this is a tough one, but if people can do it, find a client. Like let's say you're looking at restaurants and you want to really understand how to sell to the next person. You know, don't hurry. Go and find somebody and say, you know what? I want to work 2 days a week in your restaurant for free. I want to be your marketing director, and I want to come in on Mondays and Fridays, and I want to work your business. I want to help comp coupons at the register. I want to help talk to customers. I want to help with graphics in there. I want to build your Facebook ads, see how, because I tell you what, there's a big difference when you're actually seeing how it transpires and understanding the process and the stuff you'll learn. I mean, there's things that happen in the restaurant that I now know there's no way I would ever own one because of dealing with customers, dealing with employees. But understand what you're doing, because I can see through people when they call me and they try and sell me stuff. I can see right through them when they have no clue what the hell they're talking about.
Boom, man. That's, amazing advice. Just amazing advice. Matt, where can everybody find you?
MattPlapp.com, MattPlapp.com. Instagram, Facebook, Matt Plapp, LinkedIn, Matt Plapp, YouTube, Matt Plapp. My YouTube channel, there's some cool bonus stuff on there. So I've got a lot of videos about business, but then my wife and kids have a habit of scaring the crap out of me. And so we actually have about 10 or 12 videos on my YouTube channel of me coming home from work, pulling the garage, and all of a sudden some dude jumps out of a garbage can in my garage and I almost karate kick him. So there's also some bonus footage on there that'll give you a good laugh.
Man, that's awesome, guys. So Matt's one of my influencer friends. He's somebody who's out in the game. I respect him a lot, and the tactics and techniques that he has are very fundamental, very, very technical. And he's always learning. He's getting his own programs, his own products out there, and he's niched down. He's just doing so many things right. And I wanted to highlight him to my community. If you guys are interested in learning any type of marketing, if you're interested in being consulted by him, if you're looking to learn from him, go to his YouTube channel, reach out to him. I strongly co-sign on Matt Platt. He's just a real guy out in the marketplace doing some real value. And it's very, very difficult to find somebody like that these days because you have, just a lot of people, saying a lot of things that just straight up isn't true. And for somebody like Matt to come out and share and take an hour of his time to serve us, I just want to say thank you, Matt. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate the time, Brian.
Yo, what's up, everybody? That was Matt Platt. You want to follow him everywhere on social media at Matt Platt. Go to www.mattplatt. Again, my name is Frank Salas. I go by the name The Talented Mr. Salas. I am here in Acapulco, Mexico, and I travel the world living a digital nomad lifestyle. And I really, really love having a social media marketing agency because it allows me to travel. This is my office. My phone is my office. I have clients all over the world. And I live in places like Mexico where my American dollar or European, my euro goes a lot further. And, if you're somebody who's stuck in an office, maybe you're stuck at a job, maybe you have like a part-time job and you have an agency and things aren't going the way that you want, I just want to let you know that it is possible. My intention for this video is to motivate you. If you are interested in making this a reality, traveling the world, having your own clients, working with customers, I do have a mastermind. If you're interested, just go ahead and comment down below. I would love to have a conversation with you to see if my mastermind is a good fit for you. Adios, and talk to you later.